Students, whenever you do well, you wait for appreciation. And if you have excelled at anything, be it studies, sports, or any other activity, you expect to be awarded a prize. In the same way, our soldiers who selflessly work for the security of our country are awarded medals. Today we are going to study about India's highest military award, the Param Vir Chakra. So come along then. Let's read and understand it. This video was made just for you. Do remember to like, share and subscribe. Param Vir Chakra are heroes. You may have heard about legendary heroes of the past. Who are legendary? Legendary are people of, very famous and admired. So it can be people, it can be stories, but you must have heard about legendary heroes. Who are our legendary heroes? We can think about Shivaji Maharaj, we can remember about Rani Lakshmi Bai, and there are our freedom fighters like Bhagat Singh, Rajguru. All these people, they did extraordinary acts of bravery, isn't it? So what is an bravery? Bravery means any act of courageous act is called bravery. So they were very, very brave, and just not any act, they did extraordinary acts of bravery while fighting for freedom, isn't it? But even today, many of our soldiers of our country sacrifice their own lives for our safety. Even today, isn't it? We have brave soldiers fighting for the at the borders, fighting for the security of our country, for our safety, for the safety of our lives. They lay down their lives. They don't even think about their lives when they are at the borders fighting with the enemy. So their brave deeds are honored by bestowing military decorations on them. So these brave acts should not go in vain. We should not forget about them. So this, in order to motivate them, to give them a good morale and to respect whatever they have done, we have to honor them by bestowing means presenting them with, giving them military decorations. Now your decorations means the medals that are awarded to them. Okay, so we have to give them some sort of medal for their achievement, for their great brave deeds. Now, Param Vir Chakra is India's highest military decorations. So there are many, many military awards that are given to our soldiers, but among them, Param Vir Chakra is India's highest military decoration. So it is one of the highest, okay, and it is one of the most prestigious award that is given to a soldier. Now, it is awarded for the most conspicuous bravery or some daring or preeminent act of valor or self-sacrifice in the presence of the enemy. Okay, so is it awarded to anyone? No, it is awarded to a conspicuous bravery. So what is conspicuous? A very brave, very, very brave act. Okay, so very brave deed, outstanding brave deed. So this award is given to any person who shows extraordinary bravery, outstanding bravery, or some daring or preeminent act. Okay, so of valor. Valor means again to show great strength, great determination, great bravery, or self sacrifice. So those who have laid their life for the country, okay, in the presence of the enemy, not anywhere, not just fighting while training or something, but in the presence of the enemy, if you have shown any brave act. So whether on land, at sea, or in the air. So it can be, we know that our soldiers are fighting not only at the borders on the land, but at sea and in the air also. So at sea means they are constantly watching. India is surrounded on three sides by the sea, isn't it? So we have to be very careful. Enemy can attack from the sea also. They can come through ships and attack and come inside, isn't it? A few years back, that is what happened, there were some people who had entered, and the terrorist attack happened in Mumbai. So we have to be very, very alert. So at sea and in the air. So through air also, through fighter planes and all that, they can enter India and they can destroy us. So the soldiers are present on land, at sea and in the air. So if they show any sort of brave act, so they are awarded a Param Vir Chakra. Now, the Param Vir Chakra is very rare honor. Rare means not easily to be found. So, this is a rare honor. It's not given to everybody and anybody. Okay, it is given, again, they have told us when it is awarded. It is awarded for a very brave act. So far, it has been awarded only 21 times. So, only 21 soldiers, 21 people have got this award, and out of these 21, 14 of these awards were given posthumously. Posthumously means after the person had laid down his life, okay, given his life, self sacrifice, okay, had died while having, fighting with the enemy. So 14 of them have been given posthumously. So you can see this is a very, very prestigious honor that is given to our soldiers. Now let's read about the physical appearance of the medal, how it looks, how it is made of. Okay, now the medal itself is very simple in appearance. So if you look at the medal, it is very simple. Okay, not very fancy made. It is made of bronze material. Okay, you have learnt about metals in school. So it is made of bronze metal and is fitted with a swivel mounting and has a plain purple ribbon. Now swivel means easily moving. So this is what it is. It can move easily on this. So it is swivel mounting and is made, this ribbon is of purple color. Okay, so purple ribbon. So each awards have different colors that they have been given. Now on the obverse, okay, on the obverse, that is on the front side of the medal, it has an Indian national emblem. So at the center, can you see that? At the center is the Indian national emblem. Emblem means symbol. Okay, our national emblem is there at the center. And surrounded by 4 replicas of the India's Vajra. Now India's Vajra means Indra's Vajra. Indra's Vajra means it is the weapon of Indra. We shall read about it in a while in this paragraph over here on the right. But first let us understand about the physical appearance of the medal. On the reverse, that is on the other side, the words Param Vir Chakra are engraved. It's a metal, isn't it? So they have to, engrave it. They have to put the markings of it. It is engraved in Hindi and English with 2 lotus flowers in between. Okay, so on the reverse, there is the words Param Vir Chakra written in Hindi as well as in English with 2 lotus flowers in between. Now, the Param Vir Chakra medal was designed by Savitri Bai Khanolkar. Okay, so it was designed by Savitri Bai Khanolkar, and who was she? She was a European lady. So she was not an Indian. She was a European who had married Vikram Khanolkar, an Indian army officer. So she had married an Indian army officer, and but she was a European. Savitri Bai loved India and took Indian citizenship. So later on, though she was a European, she loved India very much, and she married Indian army officer Vikram Khanolkar, and then she took up the Indian citizenship. So she is an Indian. Okay, so though she was an European earlier, she has got the Indian citizenship and she is Indian. She spoke Marathi, Sanskrit, Hindi fluently. So all these languages she spoke fluently. Fluently means very, very, without making any mistakes. So very nicely. Okay. And had studied Indian arts and tradition in depth. So she has studied about all the Indian art, culture, tradition, everything in depth, just not read about it. She has studied about it. So therefore she was able to design this Param Vir Chakra, and therefore this, the art act of designing was awarded to her. So she has a, she is very very knowledgeable about India. She not only knows 3 languages very fluently, Marathi, Sanskrit and Hindi, but she has learnt about everything about India, its art, its culture, its tradition. So therefore she was able to design the Param Vir Chakra in depth. Okay, we just read as to how this Param Vir Chakra was designed. Now let's understand why all those things, that is the Indra's Vajra, was put on this particular medal. Now Indra's Vajra or thunderbolt is supposed to be a matchless weapon. Thunderbolt. What is a thunderbolt? It's a thunder that we hear when lightning strikes, isn't it? So it is very very fierce. So that is why Indra's Vajra, that is Indra's weapon, is compared to the thunder, is supposed to be a matchless weapon. Matchless means there is no other weapon that is as strong as Indira's Vajra. But what makes the weapon invincible is the supreme sacrifice of the sage Dadichi. So invincible means that which cannot be destroyed at all. So what makes this weapon so strong and so fierce is because of the supreme sacrifice, that is the great sacrifice given by sage Dadichi. Sage means a holy person or noble person is called a sage. So Dadichi. Now let's read about it. According to legend means what the stories have been told to us from generations to generations. So that is called a legend. According to legend, thousands of years ago, a demon had stolen all the water in the world. So this is what the story goes, that there was a demon who had stolen all the water from the world, and innocent people were suffering and dying without water, isn't it? If there is no water, we cannot do anything. We have to suffer, we have to die also, because everything on this earth, to live we require water. Water is very essential. Now this demon could not be defeated by any ordinary weapon made of ordinary material like wood, metal, etc. So this demon could not be destroyed. Undestructible demon he was, could not be destroyed by ordinary weapons. Something extraordinary was required. So he was an extraordinary demon, so extraordinary weapon was required. And later on it was learnt that the sage Dadichi had bones of such extraordinary power. So they found out that this sage, this great sage, had this power in his bones which was very very strong. It had extraordinary powers. But how could one ask for the bones of a living man? Isn't it? If you take the bones off from a living person, the person will die. How can we take? Isn't it? So it was very difficult. Now, how to take it? How to kill the sage and take it? You can't kill him, no? He is a great sage. He is a great noble person. Sage was a noble person. Noble person means very kind, very nice. So he was a very noble person. And what he did? He himself laid down his life and gave his bones to help the people. So he knew that people are suffering, everybody is going to die on this earth, so it is I who have to help. Okay, so that is how he laid down his life, that is he was allowed to be killed and taken his bones. Okay, so that is what he did. And Indra Vajra, that is Indra's weapon of thunderbolt, was fashioned from these bones. Was fashioned means was made from these bones, and the demon was defeated. So the demon could be defeated and the earth could get the water, and the earth and the people were saved. So just as the Indira Vajra derived power from sage Dadichi's bones, the Indian military derives its strength and power from the sacrifice of the bravest of brave. Okay, so who are the bravest of brave? Our soldiers. They are very very brave, isn't it? They are laying down their lives to save our lives, just like how sage Dadichi's Bones did, or he did. He laid down his life to save this planet. So in the same way, our soldiers are also laying their lives, and for the Param Vir Chakra holders. So all these, that is why this award is given to the bravest of brave soldiers, not any ordinary soldier, to the great soldiers who show bravery and valor. Now, if you look at the design, there are four such Indira Vajras on the four sides, okay, of the emblem. What does this signify? It signifies that the emblem signifies India, and the four Vajras are protecting India from all sides. So therefore, our military is there not only on land but on sea, also, and on air also. So on all the four sides, India is surrounded by our soldiers who are showing great valor, great bravery, just like Indira's Vajra. So that is why the four Vajra replicas means they are the copies of it, okay, in the same way. So the four have been put up on the four sides of the emblem of India. Indian emblem represents the India. It represents India. So on all the four sides, our soldiers are protecting us. We have read that Param Vir Chakra has been awarded only 21 times. So now let us read who were those 21 bravest of the brave Param Vir Chakra holders. So they were Major Somnath Sharma, Lance Naik Karam Singh, Second Lieutenant Rama Raghuba Rane, Nayak Jagunath Singh, Company Havaldar Major Piru, Captain Gurbachan Singh Salaria, Major Dhan Singh Thapa, Subedar Joginder Singh, Major Saitan Singh, Company Quartermaster Havaldar Abdul Hamid, Lieutenant Colonel Adeshwar Burzorji Tarapur, Lance Naik Albert Aka, Second Lieutenant Arun Khetarpal, Major Hoshiar Singh, Naib Subedar Bana Singh, Major Ramaswamy Parameswaram, Lieutenant Manoj Kumar Pandey, Grenadier Yogendra Singh Yadav, Rifleman Sanjay Kumar, Captain Vikram Batra, Flying Officer Nirmaljit Singh Shikon. Now let's read about Flying Officer Nirmaljit Singh Shikon, who is a Param Vir Chakra awardee, and he belonged to Squadron number 18, which is also called the Flying Bullets. It is an air defense unit of the Indian Air Force. On 14th of December 1971, Srinagar airfield was attacked by a wave of 6 enemy Sabri aircraft. Now what's a Sabri aircraft? They are fighter planes. Okay, so when you're fighting with the enemy, you can't have the normal planes. You have to have special military planes which are called the fighter planes, and this type was this Sabri aircraft. So that is how the enemy came into with 6 of these fighter planes. Now, Flying Officer Nirmaljit Singh Shikon was on readiness duty at that time. So, all soldiers have to be alert, okay? So, because enemy can strike at any time. So, his unit, that is Squadron 18, which is called the Flying Bullet, was on readiness, and he was also very, very ready for the enemy attack, okay? And he could not take off immediately because of the cloud of dust raised by another aircraft. So as soon as he saw that the enemy was coming, he wanted to immediately go, but he could not because there was a cloud of dust that the other aircraft, that is the other the officer had taken off on. So he could not go immediately. So by the time the runway was clear, what is a runway? Where the planes move, okay? The place where the planes move on land and then they start their flight up is called a runway. So by the time the runway was clear, the enemy aircraft were overhead. So by the time they could, you could clear the runway, the enemy had already entered inside, okay? And they were flying low, firing and attacking the airfield with bombs. So they were flying very very low, not very high, very low, and they were firing and attacking the airfield. Airfield means where the military people are there. Okay, the air force is there, so that is called the airfield. So they were attacking the Indian soldiers, the air force. Even then, flying officer Shikon took off his nat fighter the moment he could. So he was on a different fighter plane, that is called the nat fighter, and he didn't even bother to see whether the enemy is putting all these bullets and firing from up, and his life could be in danger, but he went on. Okay, he took off his fighter plane. He began to combat the powerful subrijet aircraft of the enemy. So this subrijet aircraft was very powerful, and he started combat. Combat means having a fight with them. Okay, he also started showering bullets, and he damaged two of them. So remember, there were six of them. So with his great bravery and valor, he was able to damage two of them, and his fight with the attacking aircraft now continued a tree-top height. Okay, so he continued his attack, and it was so low, that is at the height of the treetops. So it is very very dangerous. You could be hit by the treetops, and you could fall. Your aircraft can come down, but then still he did not bother, because the enemy was flying very low. They were trying to attack. That was their tactic of attacking the Indian Air Force people, the soldiers. At last, the enemy aircraft fled from the scene of the battle. Fled means they ran away. Okay, so they saw that we cannot do anything, we will be killed. So they went off, they ran away. They realized that these Indian soldiers are very very brave. The airfield and the town of Srinagar were saved. So not only the airfield, I just told airfield is where the Indian military fight. Okay, so that is called the airfield, and the town of Srinagar. But alas means sadly, but alas, flying officer Shikon's aircraft too crashed, and he was killed. So he could not control, and he crashed the aircraft, and along with that he had to lay down his life for the country. So flying officer Shikon displayed means showed great flying skills and determination. So he was determined, he was very very strong-willed, self-sacrifice. He said, I'm nothing doing, I'm going to fight the enemy and drive them away. So in the face of certain death, he knew that I'm going to die, but yet he did not stay back. He went on fighting. He showed unmatched heroism. Heroism means such bravery, to be a hero. Unmatched, we cannot match that, isn't it? Somebody going and knows that you're going to die, still goes on fighting and saving the country. So he showed great unmatched heroism above and beyond the call of duty. So he could have easily come back, isn't it? He could have said that the enemy is stronger than us, I'm going to come back, I have to save my life. No, he did not do that. Okay, it was his duty. So he felt that his duty comes first more than his life. So salute to the bravest of brave, flying officer Nirmaljit Singh Shikon. So we have to all salute this brave soldier, and therefore India has awarded him the highest military award, which is the Param Vir Chakra. Children, we learnt so much about this great military honor and award that is given to our soldiers, that is the Param Vir Chakra. But remember to read more on the internet, and you can visit this website, that is the paramvirchakra.com, about the gallant PVC awardees. Gallant means these brave Param Vir Chakra awardees. PVC is the short form for Param Vir Chakra awardees. Awardees means who have got this award. So who laid down their lives in the service of the country. So we have seen that many of the soldiers, that is out of the 21, 14 were given this award after they had laid down their life for our country. They had died for fighting with the enemy. So these brave soldiers have laid down their life for our country. So you should read more of them about them, and you will see that they belong to various communities and religions. Do find and read the inspiring accounts, that is, inspiring stories of how they faced the enemy without any regard for their fatal wounds. What are fatal? Fatal wounds, fatal means something which will lead to death. Okay, so fatal wounds and physical pain. So they were in all sorts of physical pain as well as they had great injuries on their body, but yet they showed such great brave acts, and therefore they were given this award. So do remember to read about all these awardees. To check your answers to all the textual questions and for free worksheets, visit our website at www.jkacademypro.com. You'll get the link in the description box below. Do remember to like, share and subscribe.